everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. And if you want to get your money's worth, you'll stay right here. WNS Podcast. Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast.
For all your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Or find us on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. Now here are your hosts, Daniel Herron,
Tyler Hebert,
and
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Hebert.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 132 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Yeah, if you want to follow us on Twitter, is at WNS Podcast for the main site, WNS Source.
We're also on Stitcher at WNS Podcast.
Stitcher.
Let's say you better do that.
I like it. I like doing it. It's fun. It's new and exciting. So welcome to the show, everyone. Got a lot to talk about. How you guys doing? Doing all right?
Yes.
Had a good weekend? Had a lot of fun. Tyler and I know we went and we got to go and check out Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. That was all kinds of fun.
We got to see the reality of the wrestling.
Yeah. Got to see MVP. Unfortunately unable to compete, but hey, things
He'll
happen.
come back and take on a wrestler from their school, Andrew Jackson.
No, he won't.
No, he won't because he lost. But
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah, you never
know.
Maybe he'll come back one day. But yeah, so got to have all kinds of fun. Packed crowd there. Definitely go out and support those guys. Be on the lookout for us on that show whenever it comes out on YouTube. Got to stand next to MVP as he checked out my sign. Got to see the 400-pound Samoan Beast do a moonsault off the second rope, which was awesome. Very awesome. So we'll make sure to share that with all of our listeners. So, but yeah, so last week was Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. Next week, or this coming week, I should say, I'm going to be going to Beaumont Hurricane Pro. Going to be checking them out. Hopefully have a lot of fun. So if you're within driving distance of Beaumont, come on out Saturday at the Montaigne Center. It's going to be all kinds of fun. And
Do you know that I just saw on Facebook today that Beaumont was named the #1 worst city to live at in the world?
Number two.
Number 2, I'm sorry.
Because I saw that too.
I'm not surprised by that.
Because of the quality of air problems from all the refineries.
Yeah, refineries and hurricanes and violence and murder and
That makes me want to move away from here.
Yeah. I wonder what the
You've
number
been here
one
for,
was.
what, 25 years?
You're not going anywhere.
I ain't going anywhere.
You're
Well, I'm
stuck
just
here.
saying the quality of air has already had its way with you.
Time is on
Yeah.
my side.
It doesn't help that I have like allergies and like sinus problem, all that stuff, and it
Yeah.
affects me. And it's
Humidity's
ugh.
bad and allergies are bad down here. This is just a bad place to live. But we tough it out.
Mhm.
So we're still going strong. So thank you,
Why
everyone.
we're such badasses.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for listening. We certainly do appreciate it. Speaking of listeners, we do have some listener feedback this week coming from our YouTube page, WNS Video, from Eric saying, "Hello guys, I've just subscribed on here and I like it a lot. Keep it going." So thank you very much for that.
Thanks, Eric.
We certainly do appreciate it.
Eric or Aaron?
Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, sir.
Erick. So making sure you get that sound. So the other feedback we have is from our good buddy Victor.
You already did it.
From Victor.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Victor.
Victor,
I just want to let you know that Noah has not seen your comment, and now
and he
we
doesn't
sent to him.
care.
Well, no, he does care. I just sent
No,
to
you
him, but I
texted
haven't.
him and he doesn't care.
He hasn't responded to me, but
He
he'll
hasn't
say
responded.
something. And
Or not responding, he doesn't care.
Noah's a big supporter of this show. He is.
How many episodes has he listened to?
I don't know, but he always wears a shirt at the library.
He does. He sends me texts of like him in his shirt.
He
like
doesn't do poses, like books.
Does he really?
I don't know. Doesn't he like check out what I'm wearing?
I only got one picture from him.
No, it was like casual, whatever day at work, and he wore a shirt.
Oh, I thought like
look
like a
at
shirt,
this.
no pants on, or something like that. That'd be weird.
Those two, but those are for us. It's private.
Oh my! But Victor says, "Thanks for the awesome episode, guys, and thanks for Noah for the shout out, or to shout me out. I'm also quite the fanfic reader, so you can imagine how much I died whenever you guys started talking about /fics. So, yeah,
cool.
Definitely an entertaining
Cool.
episode last week.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe one of these times we can get Noah back on the show to talk about Slash.
Yeah, there you go. Have him on to talk about that.
We'll
You got to
force him
orchestrate like a Noah and Victor meeting somehow.
together.
Yes.
Skype.
So not cool. But yeah, maybe we can get something like that going. But yeah, a lot to talk about this week. As we had, like we said, the Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. We had Money in the Bank. A great episode of Raw to enjoy. So yeah, let's just kick things off.
I'll kick on the money.
Kick on the Money in the Bank. Show kicks off with the pre-show,
Which is new. For the pre-show to be on the pay-per-view, right?
I enjoyed that. Yeah, they definitely have been thinking about what they're doing for the pre-show. Now, if you order the pay-per-views on TV instead of having the sideshow or whatever hosted by Scott Stanford or whoever's there doing that, now you actually get to watch the pre-show.
Which how it should have been.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, go to YouTube or go to the app to watch this, and it's like,
yeah,
whatever.
I think the app is a good way to say, hey, you can check it out. If you're not going to be ordering it,
because also through the app you can also buy the pay-per-view too to watch it too.
yeah. So but using the pre-show on pay-per-view like as you're ordering it, that's a great. I'm really glad they did that.
This is the only time.
Yeah.
They should have been doing that all along.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they finally started doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But you already have my money. You don't need to interrupt the match with commercial breaks for the pay-per-view. I've already
that's
paid.
what they did because I didn't get to see
I
that part.
paid you for the pay-per-view
Wow.
already.
Mm-hmm.
Just show me the match.
Pretty ridiculous on that part, but at least they're
Baby steps.
They're making progress, yeah. And so, but yeah, the pre-show or the kickoff show saw the Shield going up against the Usos. Very hot crowd. They were definitely into this matchup. A lot of good action. Usos showing that they can hold their own. The Shield doing great work as usual. The Shield ended up getting the victory on it, but the crowd was definitely into it to kick things off.
Well, I thought the crowd got into it once there was Usos had a super kick followed up by a big splash off the top, and that's when I think the crowd really livened up because they realized that's the first time in the match they were pretty hyped before, but that's the first time they had bought that the Usos had a chance.
Yeah.
And then of actually winning, and that's when they livened up a lot. It was a really good crowd. They were looking for reasons to get excited about things in the right ways.
Yeah.
So it's hard to mess that kind of a thing up. You just, got to go out there and give them a reason to be excited. They already want to be excited.
Yeah.
Just give them a reason to be excited.
Absolutely. And they went out and did it like Doug said. The super kick followed by the splash. The 4-person superplex was really nice. It's just a good way to kick off the show, and it makes it good because everyone's getting situated to sit down and watch the pay-per-view and all that. So it was enjoyable. I'm glad that they did that to where if you haven't downloaded the app, you don't have to download the app in order to watch the pre-show. So it makes it a little more convenient. So, but like I said, Shield does defeat the Usos to retain their tag team championship. And then the combatants for the Money in the Bank, for the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank, began coming out since Dean Ambrose was already celebrating with the Shield. Fandango came out. And then they went to a timer or something, which I didn't really like. But
I understand wanting to start big with like a graphic or like a song or something from the pay-per-view, but they didn't really do that. I may be mistaken, but I don't think that they did that. They just went right to the entrances, I believe.
No, they did the bank truck or whatever driving through the city.
Okay.
The little graphics like that. Like they had the countdown started at like a minute and 30 seconds or so. And then whenever it finally went, they had the little warning label or whatever. Then it faded out. Then it started with their little graphic thing. But that was kind of distracting, I guess. That kind of took it away a little bit. But, they came back and Fandango was still dancing in the ring. So
Well, Ambrose came out first, I believe.
yeah,
because
he had already been out
because the Shield was out there.
Yeah.
They played his music.
and then Fandango came out as they went to the timer.
Then they re-announced Ambrose again after Fandango had been dancing for like 3 minutes or whatever he had to do.
But yeah, the World Heavyweight Championship, Money in the Bank, or the New Blood, or the Rising Stars, I think is what they called it. They put on a really good show. I felt like this was a very well done matchup. They had a few missteps, but other than that, nothing really to jump on.
Those the guys that did their spots. And, they tried to make hey, this is like. I feel like there's certain guys that try to want to do like the Kofi spots or not exactly like that, but or the John Morrison stuff or something different. Something how you say innovative? No,
innovative.
Yeah.
They want to leave the fans talking about that particular spot.
Yeah, no problem. So I mean, Ambrose trying to redid his was that curl up onto the ladder?
Mm-hmm.
He skinned the cat back up on the ladder.
Yeah, and I like the teamwork from Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro. Like they're trying to get them over as a tag team now, and
the Real Americans.
Yeah, the Real Americans. They were working together. They didn't fight against one another. They were working together, and even to the point where Swagger let Cesaro climb onto his shoulders and try to reach the briefcase from that because there wasn't a ladder in the ring. So just good spots. Overall good match. The crowd was really into it. It looked like Cody Rhodes was going to be the winner.
Did you feel like, when seeing that, we kind of felt like Damien was going to do that, but I felt like, I was like, Cody, go Cody, go Cody.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, go Cody. And I wanted him at that point. I felt like I wanted him to get it. I felt like I knew what was about to happen, which did happen, but.
Well, they made sure to cut to Sandow sneaking behind the announce table, so you knew that was going to play. He was going to play the lay in wait for opportunity spot, which was cool. You guys talked a little bit about the dynamic of this match being like there were two teams in this match with the Real Americans and Rhodes Scholars. Both as teams where Real Americans actually operated as a team throughout the whole match. Neither one got selfish, whereas Rhodes Scholars played up with Sandow actually taking advantage of Cody and getting the win. I think we talked about it. I know that was the call you made, and even though we picked Cesaro, I think we acknowledged the fact that Sandow was another possibility. I think this is a weird call to make, just because I feel like you make this call knowing that whoever you put the case on is going to eventually take the belt off of a babyface Dolph Ziggler, who's going to take the belt off of Del Rio eventually. I feel like you make that call thinking that's going to happen, or even planning for that to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I have any desire whatsoever to see a Damien Sandow Dolph Ziggler feud. That just doesn't work for me.
Unless,
it does clash.
Unless somehow during this time period, Damien Sandow grows even more. Like maybe his character becomes a little different and stuff, and maybe in how he works and stuff. I don't know.
Well, I think his character is actually his strongest point. I think he's weaker in the ring than he is a character. I don't think he's going to be the one changing. I think we're going to see a progressively babyface Dolph.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. But I don't think they match up well from an in-ring character. From an in-ring standpoint, I don't think they match up well. So I'm not really looking forward to that. But I agree with all the other stuff. A lot of cool spots. Everybody in this match had something to prove. These are all young, hungry guys who had a lot to prove. And it felt like they all went out there and tried to prove it. It was a really good match, yeah.
Cody was definitely, one of the stars of the match, doing all kinds of moves. And what did he do? He did like the muscle buster
on the ladder.
Onto the ladder.
That was awesome. I was surprised he did that. That was cool.
The fans definitely embraced him. They were wanting him to win it. And so it was that much sweeter for Sandow to get the win. Even Cody had a cut over his eye and was bleeding, and just it really completed that. So it was, very good match. The fans were chanting, "This is awesome." I felt it was this pay-per-view as a whole. I felt was very very good. This is probably one of the best of the year so far.
I feel like they're continuing to like you and I talked about it while we were watching that. You had mentioned that you thought that they were kind of marketing this as pushing it towards being a bigger event every year. And yeah, I think that's a really accurate. The only other thing I wanted to say about Sandow, I like that Sandow took that because it plays into his character that he hid throughout the majority of the match. Like, as a thinking man, he would think better of pick
your spots and try and outsmart them.
Yeah, not taking all that punishment for nothing.
And he was taunting after the match, saying, "Oh, the best man won. The best man won." So, found a way to outsmart the crowd, outsmart the opponents. But Damien Sandow ended up getting the victory on that one. I don't remember the exact order of the matches, so you'll have to forgive us if these are a little off.
Miz and what's his name were next?
Oh, okay. So yeah, Curtis Axel versus the Miz for the Intercontinental Championship was up next. Good back and forth. From this
Actually,
one.
they did the Brad Maddox came out and adjusted the crowd into this.
Yes, and kind of teased at Vicky Guerrero and stuff like that, and I felt like that was kind of funny. It wasn't like, oh God, why are they doing this? But I got a chuckle out of it, where he was trying to pay tribute to Vicky Guerrero while also insulting her at the same time. So, pretty amusing stuff. But yeah, so Curtis Axel going up against the Miz. I like the fact that Miz kind of did sort of a Eddie Guerrero trait where the ref's back was turned while Miz was on the outside. Paul Heyman was nearby and made a loud slap noise, fell to the floor and acted like Paul Heyman had hit him, and the referee ejected Paul Heyman. Very smart move on the booking end because the crowd was definitely hot for Paul Heyman. So take him out, I felt was a very good move.
They want Paul Heyman back.
Yeah.
Well, I do think it was smart to get Paul Heyman out of there. He's a heel manager in a town where he's going to be one of the biggest baby faces no matter who's in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of essential to get him out because they were going to focus on Heyman. They're going to chant ECW. They're going to whatever they're going to do.
Yeah.
But I think the execution was flawed. I think there's a world of difference between Eddie Guerrero and The Miz.
Yeah.
And Eddie Guerrero was lovable in the way that he embraced his lie, cheat, steal thing. The Miz, not so lovable, nowhere near the worker. And they're trying to push him as a competent babyface, but it's kind of a dick move. Eddie can get away with shit like that, but The Miz can't. And I think there are other ways they could have went about getting Heyman ejected without turning the crowd more on the guy that they were trying to get them to cheer by getting Heyman out of the picture in the first place.
Yeah. So
good idea, bad execution, I think. And the match was the shits.
Yeah. I felt like this was kind of one of those time fillers, but I like the fact that Curtis Axel was reversing the figure 4. I felt that it was okay. It wasn't anything special.
I thought it was actively bad.
What was the finisher he made him tap? No.
That weird neck breaker thing that he does.
That
he kind of twists him in and then hits it back out. He kicked out of the fisherman suplex.
Yeah, perfect plex. So he's been using that lately.
What was the finisher? How did
he does that.
That was the thing.
He twists him in and then he hits back out with the neck breaker. He goes between that and the.
So what I'm thinking about, he goes turns him. And...
Not the little one-arm slingy thing. I'll just have to show you a video. I forgot.
I forgot.
But anyways, Curtis Axel ends up getting the victory over The Miz. It is what it is. What was next? Ryback versus Jericho, I think. Yeah, Ryback. Or AJ versus Kaitlyn.
I want to say AJ versus Kaitlyn, but I'm not sure.
We'll talk about that one instead. AJ versus Kaitlyn for the Divas Championship. I felt like it was because it was a little bit earlier in the night. But yeah, so this match was okay. They were trying to sell an arm injury on Kaitlyn, and then towards the end of the match, when AJ locked on a submission, it was on a different arm than what was supposed to be the injured arm, and they were like, "Oh, that's the bad arm." When you're like, she's got the brace on the free arm, but I felt that they did better than some of the Divas matches we've seen in the past, so I'm not gonna gripe too much because they actually wrestled a bit, but other than that, fairly passable.
Yeah, I mean, I give them credit for wanting to do limb work that would work into a finish, but you gotta pick the right limb. You can't work one arm and then submit the other. That doesn't work. I mean, it could work, but that's not the story they were trying to tell.
Yeah.
And it was a huge glaring error. Like, you've got to pay more attention than that.
Maybe when it comes out on DVD, they'll like Photoshop the brace on the other arm or something like that. But
I mean, it wasn't like the shits or anything, but it really wasn't as good as their previous match, which was a lot better.
Yeah. Other than that, not too bad. What about you, Tyler?
It was all right.
Okay. So next up, we'll talk about Ryback going up against Chris Jericho. Definitely a match that Ryback needed to win, as actually it's his first pay-per-view win in a year. The last time was at Money in the Bank last year whenever he defeated Hawkins, I think, and Tyler Rex or something like that. But yeah, so I felt this match had potential.
Wait, he has a win over somebody else. He has a win over a name. Oh, his first, you said.
That was his last pay-per-view.
Are you talking about on a pay-per-view, huh?
I think he has a more recent victory than that. Are you sure?
Yeah, there is someone.
It's not. There's only one more. I mean, I think there's only one more, but I think there was a more established guy he has a victory over. I could be completely mistaken myself. I just thought it just didn't sound right.
Nah,
maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know, but yeah, like going into this match, I felt like it had some potential because Jericho's good about bringing someone into a good match. I don't know. I felt like we were kind of just passing the time as this match was going along. But we got to see some different stuff from Ryback, which is good because you need a little variety in your gimmick. But Ryback ends up getting the victory over Jericho.
Still don't like him.
Still don't. How about you, Doug? What did you think about this matchup?
I did not like this at all. I don't know what they're trying to do. I know Jericho's gone. I know Jericho's leaving for tour. And so it was the right thing to do for Ryback to go over, but he certainly didn't elevate him.
Especially since he wasn't even on Raw this week.
Right.
Well, I mean, except for the decision from Cena.
I don't even understand what they're trying to do with him from a character standpoint. With
they don't have nothing.
I can't keep going. Whatever. I don't know.
It's just, yeah, they really.
It's just bad. It's just actively bad.
They have nothing for him. It's like, oh, the giant monster who we built up is indestructible.
Refocus and they can find something for him.
They could, but it's just we've built up this monster as this indestructible machine who doesn't stop, and now all of a sudden it's just like, whatever. Well, he lost. He's beatable. Oh well, moving on to the next one. So I don't know. It kind of sucks for him to get lost in the shuffle like that. It does. Because you always want to see people succeed, but whenever you go out there and there's just like nothing going for you, it's really tough. But Ryback did get the victory over Jericho, so at least it's some positivity for Ryback. Next up, we got to see Alberto Del Rio going up against Dolph Ziggler for the World Heavyweight Championship. I felt this was a strong matchup. Like the payback matchup. Del Rio was targeting the head. I think these two have good chemistry together. I felt the match was pretty solid. The crowd was into it. Everyone was saying, "Oh, the ending took so much away from it," but you have to have a reason for Ziggler to keep chasing. and you also have to have him find a way to get away from AJ. And I felt that they did a good job at this.
And they have another shot too if they're going to put the belt on Ziggler.
Yeah,
they can keep Del Rio as a champion for longer if they go that route.
yeah. So what about you, Doug?
I think this match gets by for me purely on emotion. The crowd was like so emotionally invested in a Ziggler victory. They were so hot for him. They wanted him to win so badly, and I think that carried a lot of the match because I didn't like this match very much. I thought it was passable, but I can't. As far as I'm concerned, Ziggler has no credible offense. There isn't a single thing he does offensively that I buy as legitimate. I cannot buy into a single thing of his offense, and I don't understand how I'm supposed to think a match is good if I can't buy you as a threat in any sense. He's great at making other guys look good. He's great at getting sympathy, but there's more to being a wrestler than that. And he's got to find a way to make me believe that he can win a match. He doesn't have to, but I mean, that's why I don't like his matches, you know?
Okay.
I just can't buy into it. I mean, I got like an emotional rush from it because I was feeding off the crowd, but I didn't think the match was very good. I don't buy his comebacks. I think it's a big problem. I mean, I don't know. I think he's got a lot to work on offensively for me to buy him as any kind of a main eventer.
Okay. But do you see him, based on what happened on Raw, which we'll talk about a little bit more, but based on what we saw for Raw, do you see him being the number one contender for Del Rio, or would you rather see someone else?
Well, it looks like they're segueing into a feud with Big E.
Yeah.
As far as did that finish hurt the match? To me, it didn't, because I didn't love the match. Like strictly from a ring work perspective, I didn't love the match, so the finish didn't hurt it to me. I can understand a segment of fans saying, "Well, you can do that and still have a decisive ending to the match." Yeah, you can, but I didn't really feel like it hurt anything because I didn't love it. So I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so take what you will. Let us know what you thought about the matchups as well. But yeah, so not too bad. Next up, we got to see John Cena going up against Mark Henry for the WWE Championship match. I felt like this one was kind of slow, but it was methodical. Like, Mark Henry worked his pace. He was very dominant throughout the match, showing his strength, taking his time. I felt like he may have taken a little too much time at some spots. And then, Cena does his shtick where, he kicks out, always kicks out. I don't know. I'm tired of the Cena gimmick. I would have liked for Mark Henry to win, but we all picked Cena to win, and that's exactly what happened. But I felt like it was a strong showing from Mark Henry.
I enjoyed the heck out of it. That's kind of how I felt it would go. Like, we picked Cena, but I felt like that Mark Henry would dominate. And I like that, though. I like how Cena just took it for a while and then he fought back.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like this quite a bit. I thought it was a better match than the main event. I thought it was a better match than Ziggler Del Rio.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a better match than anything on the card except for the opening Money in the Bank. I thought that as a match surpassed it. I will concede that I had high expectations going into this match, and they did not reach them, but I don't think it stopped them from being a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting, and this is probably going to sound strange to some people, but I was expecting match of the year candidate from these two guys because I dig what each of them do. And I think what Henry does really well plays into what John Cena does really well. And so I expected a lot. And they didn't really reach it, but it didn't stop it from being a good match. I think what hurt the match was the story they chose to tell with Cena not being able to get Henry up
Yeah.
for the AA was hurt by they didn't structure the match in a way to where it allowed him to try enough times far enough apart to feel like he actually accomplished something in the end. Because he went to it once, he couldn't get it, then he got it within, a few minutes later.
So you're saying he should have done 3 or 4 times, like the 4th time maybe?
Or space them out.
I'm not saying he has to hit a X amount of times of trying. I'm saying they have to structure it in a way to where it feels like he achieved something. I didn't feel like he achieved that. I couldn't get it, but I can get it again in 2 minutes. I just hulked up. I think it's a fine story to tell. I know Daniel and I had discussed how maybe it takes away from telling that story when you've seen Cena do it to Big Show. He's done it to Khali with a relative ease. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a perfectly valid criticism. I think that's a fine point. My markness for Mark Henry and my markness for John Cena is going to argue that Mark Henry is shorter, so he has a lower center of gravity, so it's harder.
He's cultivating mass in his legs.
Yes. He's a thick motherfucker. But if they had structured it well and paced it better, it would have came off a lot better. That being said, I like the match a lot.
Well, let's restructure this matchup a little bit. Say, the bell rings.
Well, you got to have Henry playing bully for a long time.
Yeah, but here's what I'm thinking. The bell rings, Cena charges Henry, doesn't back down, just goes straight after him. He wants to get the AA as soon as possible while he's fresh, while he's at his strongest. He goes for that, shows he can't.
Not to cut you off, but have they teased him not getting it up before going into this match, or do they decide
they did it, on a Raw before the pay-per-view.
Yeah. So it plays into this.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, he wants to get it. He wants to get it as soon as he can while he's at his best and blah 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 blah. So they could have done that, and then because of that, that's what causes Mark Henry to get the upper hand, be dominant for 5, 6, 7 minutes.
He exerts so much energy trying to.
Yeah, and so Cena happens to duck out of the way. Causing Mark Henry to hit his head on the turnbuckle or something. I don't know. Which was another nice touch that they had with him just ripping the turnbuckles off the ropes. Yeah,
like he's pulling a glove off his hand.
Yeah. But so that stuns Mark Henry. Cena goes for it again. He almost had him that time. That's whenever Henry falls on top of him, gets the upper hand again, dominates some more, slips up one more time. That's whenever Cena, starts building his repertoire, the shoulder tackles, you can't see me, all that. And that's when he finally gets it.
See, that's another, I think, flaw to the story. I'm not above being critical. I like the match, but I can be critical of it at the same time. Mm-hmm. He won with the STFU, which he still calls it that, right?
It's just the STF.
STF,
now.
yeah. No, fuck you.
We're in PG era.
That's right. I don't like Henry tapping out.
No.
I bought big, bad, mean dude like Mark Henry, I think, doesn't tap out. And you don't tap him. I just feel like he doesn't give that.
And I can buy.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I can even see Cena trying to put the STF on, but because of the strength in Mark Henry's legs, he just kicks right out of it and, goes from there.
I buy into more, and I think it takes less away from Mark Henry of someone being able to put him on his back for 3 seconds than him saying, I quit.
Yeah.
I think it's more, you concede the win. You say, okay, I'm done. You got it. Get off me. I buy more of him. Yeah, okay, you can get me on my back for 3 seconds. Yeah, sure. Anybody can do that one. Right. And it plays into the story. If the end result of the story, if the ending of the story is he finally gets the AA, then the pin should be off that. Mm-hmm. Why is when he finally achieves the AA, but then his victory comes from submission? He didn't work his legs or anything, or he didn't work that doesn't play in the story for me.
Yeah.
But I did like the match because I just really like Henry's style, and I think Cena excels at working underneath big monsters like him. And I thought it was a lot of fun.
I felt like maybe they should have I know he what if he got eventually at the end he hulked up this thing he usually does and maybe hit one FU on him, wait a little bit, then hit another FU, then pin him.
I can buy. Like I said, I'll give you the pin off the FU all day. I just don't want to. I don't like him tapping because I think tapping gives too much. He's a big, strong, mean dude. He doesn't tap. You can take advantage of him for 3 seconds. You can catch him off guard for 3 seconds on his back, but you can't make him say, "Okay, you're the better man."
Make Mark Henry tap out John Cena with the bear hug.
I just don't like him tapping. I would have rather seen him covered for a pin.
So maybe if it had been a little restructured and had a different ending, Cena's still going over, but just not tapping out.
I'm fine with the finish. I never in a million years thought Henry was going to win, although I would have loved it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have.
Yeah, they could have played it out a little better.
But that's the way that they book it. But you never know. But yeah, Cena defeats Mark Henry via submission, retains his WWE Championship, which takes us into the All-Star Money in the Bank match. I felt like this one was good as well. Not as good as the Rising Stars, but still, they were telling stories on it. Just good stuff on it. I didn't like the ending. We talked about it last week where we said it would probably be either Sheamus or like if Sheamus or Orton got it, then it'll probably lead to a heel turn, and it looks like that's probably where they're gonna end up going. But man, I would have preferred someone else to win that one.
Yeah, I didn't like this match at all. They felt really unmotivated. They felt like it just felt like so like blah. Like, okay, RVD's homecoming in front of it.
Pop.
Hometown crowd. I mean, he doesn't live there, but that's where he made his name.
Yeah.
ECW crowd, RVD's back to the company. The first part of the match was designed to showcase RVD, and he did. He did all his signature spots, and that's fine. But he didn't do much after that. And
there were quite a few people who, they were kind of just there to kind of float around.
Well, it's like, it felt, okay, World Heavyweight or SmackDown, whatever you want to call it, those dudes said,
we're going out there.
We're going to go out there. We're going to make a name for ourselves. We're fucking young. We're fucking hungry. We're going to do what we need to do. They probably even talked over their match. They probably planned out all their spots. I see the other guys is saying like, we got this. We'll figure it out when we get out there. And they went out there, and I saw a lot of laying around, a lot of what do we do now? A lot of, oh, hey, are you going to go get him off the ladder? Somebody needs to go get him off the ladder. Everyone felt like super unmotivated, super just blah, and I just didn't like this match at all. I think the World Heavyweight was far superior. Yeah. And I like most of the guys in the
This one was filled both ladder matches were filled with a lot of internet darlings.
Well, see, I'm more critical of guys in the opener than I am of guys in the main.
Yeah.
I'm a big Bryan fan, obviously. I like Sheamus a lot. You guys know that. I like Punk. I like Christian. You guys know I like those dudes. And I'm really critical of all those other guys who people are like, well, he needs to be higher on the card or he's better than this. And I'm like, well, I don't know about that. Let's investigate and see. But, they totally outworked the dudes in the main event.
They went and showed them what for. But yeah.
Felt so uninspired, though, really.
It did. Daniel Bryan did a great job towards the end of...
Yeah, even I wasn't even really impressed with Bryan. I mean, I can't even pick out stuff that happened in this match. There are lots of stuff I remember from the opener.
Sheamus going through the ladder.
Oh, that's because it was nasty and almost severed his leg off.
Yeah. So
there's that point where Bryan was kicking on RVD and Orton.
Yeah. But
same time.
I agree with you. There were moments in this matchup where, it kind of fell a little flat, but Curtis Axel came out and I don't even remember who he attacked.
Brian.
Yeah, because that was whenever he was on. Yeah, and then he tried to help CM Punk. CM Punk attacks him. Paul Heyman turns on CM Punk. But this matchup definitely had some injuries throughout the match.
I think everybody.
Just about. Punk required 13 staples in his head. Rob Van Dam required 14 staples. Christian had a chipped tooth from a hit from Sheamus.
I think they said it was the punch through the ladder.
Yeah, chipped his tooth. Oh. And then Sheamus had an inflamed thigh from his fall off the ladder or onto the ladder.
Orton have an injury.
Well, that's actually something that WWE posted about the SmackDown tapings that he suffered a cervical inflammation or something like that. But so it looks like just about everybody, had their fair share of injuries for that one. But Randy Orton wins the All-Star Money in the Bank.
To all those people who were like, "Are you guys crazy?" It's obviously Bryan or RVD that's getting it. We told you that we didn't think it was going to go to one of those guys.
Listen to us. Sometimes we know what we're talking about. I'm just saying. I don't like to brag too often.
Yes, exactly, but we did kind of narrow it down.
Yeah.
We're like,
so
Bryan's got
Sheamus or Orton.
Yeah, we said Bryan's got his shot. It's happening. He doesn't need the case. It's a waste on him.
Suck it.
Okay.
So there you go. So that's how we close out Money in the Bank. Not too bad, but there were some things that could have been better. But kicking things off into Raw, officially the Brad Maddox era. Brad Addicts. The Brad Maddox
Braditude era.
Gratitude.
It has begun.
No more Bricky.
And so he came out and said that Cena's basically going to be allowed to pick his opponent for SummerSlam. Much to the delight of the crowd. The crowd in Philly, the crowd in Brooklyn, very hot. So it made Raw enjoyable.
Yeah, but Philly was a better crowd. They wanted to be excited about the matches, and they got excited about the matches. Brooklyn just wanted to chant shit. They started that fucking shit that they did last year when they were in wherever they were after Mania.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so it leads to a match between Randy Orton and Fandango. I felt that the match was okay to build Fandango up as a viable contender or something like that. Just someone who can be a quote unquote worthy opponent or something like that, But Orton ends up getting the victory over Fandango.
I thought the match was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I like the freshness of having Fandango out there. Because he's not usually in an opening segment.
Yeah.
Match was completely fine. I didn't like the crowd. Look, guys, I like Randy Macho Man Savage as much as anybody. Is he one of the greatest of all time? Fuck yes, he is. But why are you chanting his name randomly?
Because of Randy Orton.
Randy.
Yeah, they were going off the night after Mania when they were doing it. And
Yeah,
King
that's what I'm
was
saying.
Oh, they're chanting the
If
for
you
the
don't-
wrong Randy.
If you don't like Randy Orton, boo Randy Orton.
Yeah. Or start chanting Fandango or something.
Fandango.
So there you go. But yeah, so Orton gets the victory. Backstage, AJ is trying to apologize to Dolph Ziggler, and Ziggler says, "Look, you cost me my title match, or you cost me the title. I think it's time for us to go our separate ways." Basically, dumps her, leaves her broken and scarred once again.
Punches her in the face.
Has to pick up the pieces. But next up, we got to see Mark Henry come out and deliver a promo saying, hey, last night I'm not making any excuses. Cena was the better man, and for all of y'all chanting or taunting me about tapping out, he'll tap every one of you out too.
And he was fucking awesome because Mark Henry's fucking awesome. That's how you be a babyface. You know what? Yeah, I fucked up. I'm not making any excuses. He was a better man. He wasn't trying to play like cool heel or like whatever. I mean, even though he kind of took a babyface lean, but still, he wasn't trying to be edgy babyface. It's like, yeah, man, he had my number, whatever.
Yeah.
He was totally awesome in this.
It was good stuff. Very good stuff. I really enjoyed it.
Love him fall off the Shield.
The Shield came down and attacked Mark Henry. That was one thing I loved. He took off.
Motherfuckers, you don't fuck with me.
He didn't wait. He was like, oh, yeah, okay, fuck you. And he just charged the ropes. I don't know who he got, but he got somebody off the
ring. It was Reigns. May have been.
Hey, go for the big guy first.
Yeah. And I love the fact that the crowd, got amped up for that, because they were like, Henry's not going to run. He's going to stand there. And he's going to try and fight him off. Because as soon as he took off that jacket, man, they started going nuts for him.
I'm a little scared though, guys.
Uh-oh.
Because I thought that quote unquote acting, that raw emotion that we saw from Henry whenever he was, he did his fake retirement, might have been real. I kind of feel like this may be his last run. That's why they're going to let him work out as a babyface. So you can get that big send-off babyface run. Maybe that was his real retirement speech that we're going to see, and they just played it. I'm a little worried about that. I hope that, because there's been talk about, he's injury plagued, and there's talk of him hanging up for a while, and I I'm a little worried this is his last run, but man, if it's his last run, it's been a hell of a couple of years. He's had a monster like 3-4 years, and it's been really cool. And if they send him off with a big babyface run, then I'm fucking all behind that because he's just showed me he's good babyface as well.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like he's going to be working with the Shield, so that'll be something to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean he's a company guy. He's gonna put somebody over on the way out. He's not worried about that.
So it'll be good. So
I mean, that's not even rumored. That's just the feeling I'm getting.
Just one of those gut instincts.
Yeah.
Well,
because that was some raw emotion in that thing. It may have been his real goodbye, and then he's gonna take his babyface run on the way out.
Who knows? But hopefully, we'll see a little bit more from Mark Henry, and I would still like for him to.
When
have
he's
that
nasty, he's just so nasty. But when he's good natured, he just feels like such a good dude. He's like, yeah, man. But he'll tap y'all out too. He's like, yeah, he got me. I don't know.
It's good stuff. So next up, we got to see Alberto Del Rio going up against Dolph Ziggler in a rematch, but I don't believe it was for the title. But just a one-on-one competition. And AJ ends up coming out and causes a distraction, ringing the bell when it shouldn't have been rung. And Dolph Ziggler ends up losing to Alberto Del Rio. AJ comes out, slaps him in the face, and Big E Langston comes out and attacks him, gives him the big ending. So, if they don't allow Ziggler to face Del Rio at SummerSlam for the title, they do have an alternate storyline for him to go against Big E Langston.
Yeah, I don't see what this does for Ziggler though.
Nothing really. I mean, unless it's just like a one or 2 week feud, because it's 5 weeks until SummerSlam, so they have time to kill. But
unless they do it where like he's still gonna go after Del Rio and he's gonna, I guess at the pay-per-view, he's gonna fight him whatever. But I guess between that he's gonna fight Langston.
Yeah, and what this does is it breaks him away. It breaks him away from AJ and Big E. Which is good because if he's going to be playing face, he can't be associated with heels. It just doesn't work that way. But
well, do you think this was to establish that not only is he done with AJ, but he's done with Big E as well, and they may not be feuding? This just kind of was the punctuation on the relationship.
Yeah, I feel like I said, I feel like this is just going to be something that they're going to settle over Raw. Like maybe they'll say, oh, if you want a title match against Del Rio, you're gonna have to defeat Big E Langston, or Ziggler's gonna come out and says, I want revenge on Big E for attacking me last week.
This could be like a one thing, like he fights him on Raw, and that's
it'll just be a one and done, and then Big E can be the bodyguard for AJ for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what they should do.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see where they go from there. But next up, we got to see R-Truth come out, getting ready to ask the crowd.
Up?
Yeah, getting ready to ask the crowd what's up. And as soon as that happens, the lights go out, the lantern is lit, and the Wyatt family come out to attack R-Truth, making a huge statement, attacking him. R-Truth grabs a chair, and Bray Wyatt's in the middle of the ring saying, "Go ahead, hit me. I'm asking you to hit me. What are you waiting for? Why are you taking your time? Just hurry up and do it." And hesitated too long, and the Wyatt family attacked once again, and Bray Wyatt delivered a promo telling Kane to follow the buzzards. Just really, I felt like it was really good stuff.
Yeah. You think that's their entrance? Like every time they're gonna do the candle thing? I mean, the lantern thing.
Looks like it.
Maybe not every time.
Until
they start getting in competitions, tag matches or singles match or whatever. But I don't have a big problem with it.
Well, my thing is, I think it's going to be like
played
out if they do it every week.
Yeah,
the lantern every week. I think it's fine for a few weeks or even like a month or so, but I don't think they can keep it up forever.
Right. Yeah, because
no, in WWE they probably would.
Yeah, no joke. But yeah, I felt like the mic work was really well done. I know a lot of people last week were saying, "Oh, is that all we get from Bray Wyatt?" I'm like, well, this is the week where you get more. This is where you get to hear from him. You find out answers to some questions and stuff like that. I felt like there was.
We get to hear some of his preaching.
Yeah, I felt like it was really well done.
He didn't really say anything of substance. It was like one of those promos that sound really good, but they don't really say anything. But I think that's okay for his character, as long as we keep getting a little bit and a little bit.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, like, I think it's okay for their promos to be weird and out there. Like, maybe you don't get the whole picture of exactly what's going on. That's fine as long as they reel us in a little at a time and give us a little piece.
So not too bad. It leaves you kind of wanting to see more and where they're going to go next, especially with them addressing Kane. But next up, we got to see the Usos going up against the Real Americans, Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro. And we should make a note that during the Money in the Bank, Zeb Coulter made a little promo that got us to chuckle a little bit at least with his comments about Betsy Ross. But, I felt them. Huh?
I like tacos and burritos.
Yeah, they're pretty
They're
awesome.
my favorite.
So, but yeah, so what did you guys think about the Usos going up against the Real Americans?
The match was short and uneventful. I mean, they didn't really have time to do much, which is fine, but I question the booking decision. I guess maybe they had planned it already and they didn't know that the Usos were going to be so well received on the pay-per-view. And they should win because I think they're going to continue to feud with the Shield for the titles.
Yeah.
They need to look strong. But they could have beat any other team. They could have beat anher team.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to establish a new team.
You just put Cesaro and Swagger together and you're going to job them out. Even on a roll-up. Though, I didn't like that. I questioned that booking philosophy. Even though it was a roll-up. They could beat another babyface team. They could have beat the primetime players. They could have even beat another babyface team in a straight-up sportsmanly like match. Like they, no one had to be a dick.
Yeah.
They could have beat any other team. I didn't like them beating Real Americans.
Yeah, and it was weird, especially since the fans picked who the Real Americans were going up against, and I think it was like 57% for the Usos.
If that was real.
Yeah, I know. You always have to take that with a grain of salt, but
they were fucking over the night before.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we got to see Christian going up against Damien Sandow. To be honest, I don't really remember much about this matchup.
I actually like this match, but I have a sneaking suspicion that I liked it because Christian took him by the hand and let him do the match. I think I liked it more for what Christian brought to the table and less of what Sandow brought to the table. But I'm willing to give the guy time to progress.
Yeah.
I just question if he's the guy. They should have it. I think Cesaro is... Sorry, I'm chewing gum and now I'm like salivating and chomping on the mic. I'm sorry.
Flavors.
Cesaro is like I think a near complete package guy. I think he's the most complete package, the closest to a complete package guy that was in that match. He's not the best promo, but he can work on that. I feel like that's something he can improve on, but I don't think there's a better in-ring guy. And I'd just rather see him in the position. I don't think Sandow from ring work is like main event ready.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know. Christian is a good guy to get him there if they're going to feud him with him for a while.
And they do have a year for him to grow on a little bit,
The thing about it that I don't like though is the WWE booking philosophy that when the guy gets the case, they immediately start jobbing him out.
Yeah.
Because they think that if they job them out quickly and often and for a long time, that when they finally do cash in, it would be a surprise that they win the case. And that's all bullshit. And we all know that's bullshit. There's no drama in that. No one buys that as drama. We all know that the only drama that's there is, are they going to ring the bell or are they not going to ring the bell? If they ring the bell in, we all assume that he's going to get the belt. He was winning the belt. If they take the case back, there's no drama in that. That making a guy lose for a year or 6 months or 8 months doesn't help or hurt that. It doesn't change anything about that. If that bell rings, unless the guy's Cena, we're assuming that, and I'm not like shitting on that though. Cena was the right call for that to be the guy to lose.
Yeah.
But unless it was Cena, if the bell rings and the guy's winning, there's no drama in that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they might pull the trigger and have Sandow lose?
I think it's far too early to tell.
If there was anyone that should lose, the thing would be Orton over Sandow.
It's far too early to tell. We weren't even sure that he was the guy that was getting it until he got it.
So, what can you do as far as that one? But
you could not job him out.
Yeah. But
if you want him to be taken seriously, let him win.
Yeah. But Cody Rhodes does come out and attack Damien Sandow after the matchup, after Christian defeats Damien Sandow. Do you guys think that might, obviously this is going to build a feud between Cody and Damien. Cody Rhodes is going to be playing the face, character now. The crowd has obviously welcomed that and embraced it. Do you think Cody might even challenge Sandow for the briefcase, or do you think it'll just be a one-on-one match?
I hope not. I really don't. I really dislike the whole
fight for someone,
fighting for the case. Like, you win the fucking match or you don't win the match. Yeah. That's my opinion.
Like they did with Edge and Kennedy.
Yeah, that's foolish. Especially Sandow would look extremely foolish to put the case on the line because he's supposed to be the intellectual guy who's like, no, I already have the fucking case. Why would I jeopardize it?
Yeah.
It's stupid. I don't like when they do it with anybody. If you don't want him to be the guy that has a case, don't make him win the match.
Yeah. So, who knows? We'll have to see where they go from there.
I will say that I don't think Cody Rhodes. I guess it's possible for them to elevate each other, but Cody Rhodes is not going to elevate Sandow, and Sandow's not going to elevate Cody Rhodes like on their own. Maybe they'll have an awesome feud and elevate each other, but
probably not.
Probably not.
So, first thing that comes to your head, who cashes in first, Orton or Sandow?
Orton.
Orton? How about you, Tyler?
Orton.
Okay. I could see Orton do it as early as SummerSlam, depending on who wins between Cena and his opponent, Daniel Bryan. So,
you shut your dirty fucking horse mouth. if you're even gonna suggest that, if you're even fucking suggesting that Daniel Bryan beats John Cena clean as a motherfucker in the middle of that ring in SummerSlam, and Orton cashes in, RKOs him and wins, I'll fucking quit this podcast. You shut your dirty whore mouth.
Hey, at least for however long he held the title, he will be known as WWE champion.
You shut your fucking mouth.
Don't you put that curse on him.
Don't jinx us.
Yeah. So I'm just saying.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
I see it happening. I don't like it, but I see it happening. Because what better way to turn Orton heel than to have, arguably the most over guy in your company defeat John Cena?
Not arguably.
Okay.
Let's put the fucking pin in the fucking board. Daniel Bryan is the most over guy in the company.
Most over guy in the company right now. What better way to have Orton go heel than to have the most over guy defeat John Cena?
Shut your fucking mouth.
In the middle of the ring at SummerSlam. Orton comes in, cashes in, gets the loudest boos he's ever had.
Taps him out and all. In the middle of the ring.
Tap that motherfucker out.
No lock on.
What
is it no or is it yes lock again?
He's yesing again. So.
Yeah. So as long as you respect the beard, that's the most important.
Hey guys, I respect the beard, okay?
But next up, we got to see Naomi defeat Brie Bella, and then we got to see Paul Heyman. That's about how relevant that match was.
What?
Whoa.
I didn't like it.
Why didn't you like it? That was so.
Because I knew exactly what it's for. It's to plug the Divas TV show.
We're gonna watch it.
Well, who else is? They're not pushing anyone else in the division. Someone's gonna have to eventually challenge AJ. And goddamn it, Naomi is athletic as fuck.
Yeah,
and she got big booty.
She does. Dollars study, not me. She does. But she's super athletic.
Okay.
She hit some nice spots.
Yeah.
With her booty.
Match was totally fine. I had no problem with this.
Okay. I just didn't like it just because.
Long story short,
you didn't like the match because
I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to plug the Total Divas TV show.
You're gonna watch it, damn it.
I'm not gonna watch that show. I'm going to
Get
pass
me
on
Doug
it.
are then.
I'm going to pass on that show. You guys can have fun watching your E-channel TV show.
I'm gonna watch it.
Well, I'm planning out Randy Orton's defeat over Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. So next up, we got to see Paul Heyman come out, and or actually we saw CM Punk come out first, then Paul Heyman, so he could deliver just a great segment. They made it very personal. They made it very vicious. Just really good stuff from both people, Punk and Heyman. I really enjoyed it. I felt like they both did a stand-up job. Brock Lesnar came out, wrecked shop on Punk. Punk actually suffered whiplash, strained ligaments, and an injured ankle. And they also is reported that his ribs may also be bruised or potentially broken because of Brock Lesnar. So, what did you guys think about this segment?
Heyman was a fucking awesome as usual. Punk was kind of like a stammering, kind of like couldn't get out what he wanted to say, but I think it kind of worked. I don't know how intentional it is. I'm a Punk fan too, but I'm sure Punk fans are going to claim that it was intentional because it kind of works that Heyman had got under his skin so much. Punk is kind of the guy who's kind of better than that, and Heyman kind of got under his skin to the point where all he could say, "I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt everyone around you." He just kept saying he couldn't even get out what he wanted.
Watching Man on Fire. Anyone who profited from it, anyone who had anything to do with it, I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah, but he didn't say it eloquently. Yeah. He didn't say it concisely. He kind of like stammered it out.
Crap! What was the words?
I liked how Brock Lesnar didn't come out there and just dominate. How I felt like it should have gone, but like with Brock Lesnar. But I like how Punk fought back and stuff. Because with me, I felt like one misstep and Punk tried to hit him, and then Brock Lesnar just dominated and throw him around, which kind of happened. But CM Punk did fall back, and I like that.
He got taken, but
he did get taken, but he fought back though.
But he didn't back down, which is the key thing. You don't want your babyface is backing down. Yeah, it was a good segment.
Very good stuff. And that takes us into the main event of the evening: Rob Van Dam versus Chris Jericho. I know, the crowd was definitely hot for it, so they, definitely had the excitement going. Some good back and forth action from them. During the match, I guess Rob Van Dam's staples opened up a little bit, and he was bleeding a little bit throughout the match. But all in all, I felt like it was pretty good. Rob Van Dam gets the victory over Chris Jericho, and that kind of sends Jericho on his way, as he's going to be.
He wants to fight the person that gets the most money.
He does. But Jericho's going to be taking some time off from the WWE to tour with Fozzy. But what did you guys think about the matchup?
I didn't like it at all.
Really?
Thought it was really pedestrian. Thought it was RVD hitting his signature spots. Really,
nostalgia.
But kind of half-assedly hitting his signature spots. Look, RVD's over, yeah. Especially in the two places that he's been, because that's a market that he made his name in. Get it. Fine with them bringing him back. Fine like them making him feel like a big deal, because why would you bring someone back and not try to make them a big deal? Makes sense too, but I just don't think he's relevant.
Where is he going to go? Who's he going to feud with?
I'm not excited about it. I've been watching him in TNA this whole time, and you know what? He's been extremely unmotivated in TNA. He's been kind of lazy. He has not been putting on good matches. And yeah, maybe he's back in the Fed now, and it's it's a lot different it's a lot different when 15,000 people are chanting your name instead of 1,500. I get that. I was
loving the comments you were making during the Money in the Bank. Oh man, this is what it's like to work in a sold out show again.
Maybe he can become motivated, but I've been watching him be unmotivated, not have good matches, and frankly, I don't think he's relevant in 2013. But we'll see. Who knows?
I agree about the not relevant. They just brought him back for, I guess, what do you call it?
Nostalgia.
Like they do with everybody. Or
give everyone that warm and happy feeling. Yeah. Trying to get ratings in, and
I don't know exactly what he's going to be do, and I guess try to put people over or not. I don't know, but
I mean, that's a good point, and that's a fair point. And if they're gonna bring him in to put some dudes over, then I'm all for it. But who is RVD gonna make?
Yeah,
I'm not really.
All the guys who you think you would imagine working well with RVD have already made themselves.
and everyone else who might be on their way up is working with someone else right now.
Tell you what,
Or could benefit from working from someone who's motivated.
Yeah.
bring back a heel Evan Bourne the fight. I don't know, to RVD.
Kofi Kingston, whatever. he returns.
How in favor or not in favor of you guys are you guys in general of bringing back so many guys in this part-time status? You got your Jericho, you got your RVD, you got your Brock, you got your Rock, you got your rumored Batista maybe. How many of these guys are you okay with? Are you okay with this as in general or not really?
I mean, go ahead, Tyler.
I feel like it's annoying.
Annoying? Yeah, it's good for nostalgia's sake. It's good business-wise because you're bringing in, the older fans who have sort of moved on, who are like, oh, man, I got to see what they're doing. I didn't know that The Rock was back. Oh, I didn't know such and such was back. But you're supposed to be, these guys are supposed to be building the future. They're supposed to be, whoever's in that locker room who opens the show, that's who's supposed to be taking over the show in, 5 or 6 years. When Cena and Orton finally go their own way and retire or whatever, who are they going to have to bring that up? How long does Punk have left in his career? How long does Del Rio, Sheamus? You need to be building for the future.
Rock didn't help build for the future when
No,
he fought
he
Punk and Cena.
No, he went up against the top guys.
Well, Lesnar isn't either. He's only worked the
Lesnar's
top
not either.
names.
Lesnar's not.
Yeah. He's going up against top guys or, semi-wrestlers now, like semi-full-time or part-timers like Triple H. You're bringing all of these part-time guys in so that they can still reap the benefits of being a main player.
I'll give it to Jericho, though. He is trying.
I will give it to Jericho as well.
Because whenever he comes in,
he'll lay down for any goddamn body, and he never loses his heat over it.
Yeah.
And that's great. I respect the fuck out of him for doing that. But the only person that they made him, the only person in this company that's been made a fucking superstar in years is Daniel Bryan. He did it on his goddamn own because no fucking name in that company laid down for Daniel. Who the fuck did Daniel Bryan work and go over? Mm-hmm. He's getting himself over in a fucking tag team with Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He worked Punk once on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Who the fuck else did he work? The Big Show?
Mark Henry.
No disrespect to... I fucking love Mark Henry, but Mark Henry didn't make Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Big Show. He didn't... Who the fuck made Daniel Bryan? Daniel Bryan made his own goddamn self because he didn't work anybody of any value that laid down for him.
And it goes back to the discussion that we had in the past about, when Curtis Axel made his re-debut. They had the chance. He's going up against Cena. He's going up against Triple H. How does he win? Count out. Disqualification.
Well, that's fine initially. It's just got to build to something.
Yeah, and those guys who refuse to go down, to lay down for someone else, it's completely destroying the company. It's destroying the future of the business because it's like, well, as long as I can still work a match, I'm going to be one of the top dogs. And that's just how it's going to be. You're Triple H, you're The Rock, Undertaker, but Undertaker will help.
Undertaker's different because he works one match a year pretty much, and it's the streak, and you don't need to break the streak.
Yeah.
Undertaker's fine. He's an attraction. I don't have beef with Taker. Don't have beef with Jericho, like Aber said. Mm-hmm. He does the right thing.
But Lesnar comes in, he's going to go up against the top dog. Brock comes back, he's going to go up against the top dog. Triple H comes back, he's going to go up against the top dog. It's just...
Yeah.
It talks about two part-timers want to verse each other. Rock and Brock.
It's just,
You know what I want to fucking see? Well, we're going to get to what I really want to see. What I'm salivating over, but still.
But with the guys at the corporation at WWE headquarters or whatever, they need to walk in, have a meeting, and say, okay, Cena's out, Orton's out, Sheamus is out, Del Rio's out, Punk is out. Who is going to be our top guys for the next 5 years? Who's going to be on the covers of our magazines? Who's going to be on the covers of our collector cups? Who's going to be on the side of that van that we drive to each show? Who do we need to be looking for the next, for the future? They have no one.
I'll go as far as today to say, fuck all the merchandise. Who can you put in the ring in a main event and people not say, bullshit, he's not a main eventer? Like, you can't even put, fuck all the money stuff. You can't even put someone in the ring and someone say, okay, yeah, he's a main eventer. Because you fucking can't.
It's like, who can you put on the opposite side of Cena, of Orton or Sheamus, and say, all right, I'll buy into this?
Daniel Bryan is the first guy since Punk. And who can you say besides Bryan and Punk?
I mean, no one really. So that's where the issue is. So, they have so much talent that they just aren't utilizing. They move to 3 hours and they don't do anything with it.
No, I call bullshit on that because I feel like they've done a good job of establishing a wrestling product.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot more wrestling, and we're seeing a lot of quality wrestling.
Yeah.
And we're seeing guys being given time. I think they've refocused the programming. So I will stand up in that regard. I just don't think, as far as the part-time guys, I understand why they do it, and it's fine to do it. And absolutely you want to pop a buy rate, you're going to do big name versus big name. But eventually, big names got to put over this guy, or you don't have big names in the future. They die out.
Exactly. Which is why they haven't had any new guys build their way up, I guess.
Which is why they have to pay these guys to come back.
Yeah. So they're like, look, our buy rates are down because people don't want to see these matches. Well, you haven't built them up as a viable contender. So, I don't know. But next up, we did get to see RVD does defeat Chris Jericho. Next up, we got to see John Cena come out and make his decision as to who he wanted to face at SummerSlam. Went through some of the names.
Yeah, screw
Great
all
Khali,
that goofy stuff to get to the main.
Yeah.
Like, just saying to people, whatever, don't care. When he called Daniel Bryan, and everyone went nuts.
Yeah. Calls out, hey, the person I want to face is Daniel Bryan. Roof went off the building.
That was not sweetened sound. That was not piped in sound. Because everybody that was sitting in that arena's arms were going up and down.
Mm-hmm. You can only pipe in so much, and man, what I absolutely loved about this clip is that when they announced Daniel Bryan, everyone's kind of like looking around, like, where is he? And he was standing behind Cesaro and Swagger the whole time, but he's short, so you can't see him. So
yeah, because when they show the clips
of
of him and they're going, I was like, where the hell is he?
Yeah. He's standing behind him the whole time.
I like how Cena even tried to play it. I was like, I respect the beard, guys, whatever, but who I'm going to,
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan.
This is something that, look, Aber and I have talked about it. There's no excuse that we're huge Bryan marks, and this is the moment we've been waiting for since Nexus debuted, and in the middle of the ring, Daniel Bryan kicks Cena in the fucking head, and everyone's like, one day, Daniel Bryan will wrestle John Cena in a high-profile match. And this is the day, and we're really excited about it.
We're less than 5 weeks away from it.
There's only one other match. Well, I'm not sure that I'm as excited about that, but there's only one other matchup for Bryan that could get me even close to this. And, I just say what you want about John Cena, but he always delivers in high-profile matches. Daniel Bryan is fuck you. If you don't think he's fucking awesome, you suck. You don't know what you're talking about. He's that fucking good in the ring. Yes, he is. And I'm just going to say it now because that's how much I want to see this match. That's how much confidence I have in these guys. That's how wet the panties are. John Cena and CM Punk for Money in the Bank. That was my match of the year 2011. Cena and Lesnar, 2012. I don't see how Cena and Bryan can't produce my 2013 match of the year. That's how awesome I expect this to be.
Calling it already.
Calling it this. I think SummerSlam is going to be special because Bryan already has a history of SummerSlam being a good pay-per-view from him. Mm-hmm. That's when he re-debuted in the Survivor Series match.
Yep.
This is going to be really awesome.
Like John Cena, he wants a special match. It's going to be a special match.
I think this is going to be really special stuff. I think it's going to be really awesome. I don't see how it could not be awesome.
These future brother-in-laws know each other very well.
I guess they're talking about how they want to play into the Divas thing.
I pray
I
that
can
they
pick the
don't.
Bellas.
I pray that they don't involve the Bellas.
They don't need it.
No.
But
Stay as far away from them as you can.
I just cannot envision a way that this match does not deliver in spades. I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Cena's that good of a main event, like big high profile match worker. He never disappoints. And Bryan's the fucking best. It's that fucking simple. This match cannot be not awesome.
And the way that they had it with Daniel Bryan chanting yes and right in front of Cena's face, the only thing that I was thinking at the time, other than this is insanely awesome, was this is the internet versus the corporation. Like, this is the guy who the internet, who, you know, people in the indie days.
Not even though, because everyone loves Bryan now.
Well, now they do, but they have followed, like you yourself have followed Daniel Bryan through his journey, culminating. I don't even know if I said that right,
Culminating.
but yeah, to this moment, coming to this moment where he is going to be facing the champion, the guy who's been the top dog for the last 10 or 11 years.
There's no way it can't be awesome. I just can't. I cannot imagine a way that this cannot be awesome.
Yeah. So it's going to be hard hitting on Cena's side. It's going to be fast paced on Daniel Bryan's side. And
Daniel Bryan's going to tap him out in the middle of the ring. What the fuck else?
Tap that bitch out.
if that were to actually happen,
we're in super Mark mode right now.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, he's going to tap him out.
If that actually does happen, that would solidify Daniel Bryan for the rest of his career. The roof would blow off of the building. They'd probably have to rebuild the Staples Center just because so much energy. It would just be insane. For him to even pin John Cena would be great. So,
well, look, this is an excellent barometer because for how long have we been recording?
let's see, we're over an hour.
For the past hour and 10 minutes, we've been like, this was okay. This could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. For the past 3 or 4 minutes, we've been like,
oh my God.
We've been like speaking with such glee. That just shows how this is such the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm in super Mark mode right now. I'm like, this there's nothing better that they could have done. This is the match I want to see. And it is in the exact, it's just what I want. It's what I want.
You were just in the happiest place imaginable right now, aren't you?
I am. There's no way this could be bad.
You know, what do you mean?
Huh? Oh, him?
Long story short, tongue on titties. That is it.
I laughed it out earlier, bitches.
Oh, God.
Titty City. So, it's going to be Daniel Bryan versus John Cena at SummerSlam.
What you mean?
It's going to be, a lot to look forward to as they build towards it because Daniel Bryan obviously has the control over the crowd right now. He is the crowd favorite right now. And it's going to be really good to see. There was reports that Daniel Bryan was supposed to go up against Wade Barrett on Raw, but that was actually scrapped due to time constraints. And, nice. And, now I just lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
But due to time constraints, he wasn't able to have his match. So, to be honest, I felt like that's probably the best thing for Bryan for this Raw. Because it kept him out of the crowd, so they didn't get worn out with their yeses and all that.
It made it feel special. It was like he was kind of like anointed, like the man. They were kind of like, who's the man? He's the man. Come on, you're the man. Come have the man.
Come on down. You're the next opponent for John Cena's title. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot to look forward to. So just be on the lookout for us to kind of geek out about that for the next few weeks. So that's pretty much how we closed out Raw. I felt, the crowd was hot and had a very great ending, especially with the crowd chanting yes with Daniel Bryan. So good stuff. We do have some hot topics, apparently. More releases from TNA. D'Lo Brown, Doc, and Tara have joined the groups of those who have already left TNA. So
War's on the way.
Yeah, more supposedly on the way. But yeah. And in WWE 2K14 news, if you haven't heard by now, the Ultimate Warrior are going to be a playable character.
I once threw out my neck doing the rope shake thing.
Yeah.
Playing, what was that?
All-Stars.
All-Stars.
You hurt yourself. I remember
I
that
hurt
story you told.
I hurt my neck doing the rope shake thing while playing All-Stars.
Oh, that's never fun.
Yeah, no.
Video game injuries, man.
I know,
Like
right?
painful.
On dick.
So yeah.
Also, was it been reported that was it Ric
Flair.
Ric Flair's ex-wife? Isn't she like wanted or something now?
Yeah, something like that. She had left harassing text messages and
now I think Ric
voicemails.
Flair is wanted. Too.
And there's an issue for his or warrant for his arrest. Yeah, because he failed to pay his ex-wife
Alimony.
Yeah.
No.
So
You know those people who always pays his bar tab? Maybe they can get people to pay his alimony.
no, he always pays people's bar tab.
I want to say a very special birthday to the great and devious Ultraman Black, who's probably not listening, but it's his birthday and he's awesome.
And we were also asked, I know it's a little late in the show, we normally do it at the beginning, but happy belated birthday to our Bound for Uli contestant, Rhino, who celebrated his birthday this week. Congratulations. Woo! So happy birthday. I'm glad you brought that up because I would have honestly forgotten. So there you go. No Q&A for us this week, but we'll be out and about at Hurricane Pro again. If you happen to be in the near Beaumont, Texas, head on out and check them out.
A few things, like we said last week. Also, you like those belts that got made for us? Check out Eric at Ashwood Belt Company.
Yeah.
.com.
Nightmare Pro Wrestling.
Nightmare Pro Wrestling.
Good stuff.
Which just got posted on
Yeah, that's what we were
Facebook.
looking
Did you
at.
see that about a guy who bought 2 copies and he met Daniel Bryan, gave him one of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if you don't know what we're talking about, go to Nightmare Pro Wrestling. Check out his pics.
.com?
.com. Check out his drawings he's done of like Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and you'll see other things he's done. And
We might
it's
even
good
have
stuff.
him on the show next week to talk about his Nightmare Pro Wrestling comics. As well as the success of his drawing. So yeah, so there you go. A lot to look forward to in the coming week. So thanks for tuning in. If you want to check us out, leave us your comments or subscribe to us on YouTube, WNS Video. Check us out on Facebook,
on titties.
Wrestling, WNS Podcast, and also WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can also find us on WrestlingNewsSource.com and Wrestling News Source Podcast on iTunes. Make sure to subscribe to us there. What did I miss? What happened? What did he do? What did he do?
He said one of the text messages from that thing, and I just pictured in my head the little
nice.
It
skit.
was like a few seconds later than he.
Titty,
Soaked
titty.
in.
So there you go.
Okay.
Twitter?
No.
No Twitter?
If you want to follow us on Twitter, is at WNS
Don't sound
Podcast.
so rehearsed. You say it the same way. You're like, oh, let me talk.
God damn it. Yeah, if you want to follow the main site, WN Source.
What are we?
Stitcher!
I said WNS Podcast.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry, fucker. We're on Stitcher, WNS Podcast. Give us a thumbs up.
What do you mean?
Give us some stars on iTunes. Write us a review, please. We really appreciate it. It really helps us out.
It does.
Let's gets us higher to the top, we believe, and more people will see us. And
We'll be right up there with Cole Cabana in no time.
yup.
So there you go. For the podcast crew, I am Daniel Heron.
I'm Tyler Bear.
I'm Doug.
And we will catch you all next week.
Bye.